Aloha everybody, this is Kaylani, and we are doing a little beach live because yesterday it was raining and I didn't want to get all my tech wet. You know, I have the windscreen because it's super windy and I didn't want to get that wet, so I had to hold off. So that's just kind of sort of how we're rolling with the beach lives, as we move into rainy season this fall and winter. We might have to adjust the dates depending on rain. Hopefully you can see the beach behind me. I think when I move you can. Surprising, it's a Saturday and this area of the beach park is pretty empty. Here, I'll open it up so that you can see how beautiful the beach looks. Yeah, it's a little, not the whole park isn't empty, but where I am right now, it's kind of empty, which is really nice. And I'm under a little bit of shade right now. And look at what I have. I went to the farmer's market. I should go live next time at the farmer's market. I drank it all. This is coconut water, fresh coconut water, and I also got some soft coconut meat. I'm really excited about. Maybe this live is going to be about food because that's all I can think about, because I went to the farmer's, my day. So I had to wake up super early because I needed to renew my license, and due to COVID and everything else like that, it's been really difficult to get all that stuff done. So luckily, because it had expired, I got an early appointment to go in just at the butt crack of dawn, which for me is 8 o'clock because I'm a night owl. So mornings, I'm not a morning person. Let me know in the comments if you guys are morning people or night people. I would like to be a morning person. I esteem to be a morning person, but I'm not. I just can stay up all night long and I just have all the gas at night. In the morning, I'm just like death to whoever wakes me up. But I did have to wake up this morning like zombie-like and go in there and take my picture, which is really funny because, obviously it's your license and you can't have a mask on. So I take my mask off and I'm like, that's what so my driver's license picture looks a hot mess, but that's okay. I have it for 8 years though, so I'm not excited about that. But anyway, so I did that. I was going to go to Chinatown because the satellite office was in Chinatown, but it was so early, everything was closed, and I was like, okay, I'll just go to the farmer's market and I'll do Chinatown another time. So maybe next time we're together, we'll do like a little beachy thing, or maybe we'll do like a Chinatown walk because it's amazing there. But anyway, I got early to the farmer's market because, as I said, I'm not a morning person, so I got there early and I was able to get a lot of food and get some really good flowers, and I had some coconut water, fresh coconut water. It's so good. Fresh coconut water is so much better than anything that you can buy in a bottle or a can or anything. Even the really good coconut, there's a coconut water that you can find at Whole Foods that's kind of pinkish, and I think they say their coconuts are from Southeast Asia, I think. And that's good. It's a little sweet though, so it makes me wonder sometimes if it's been sweetened, but it's good, for bottled coconut water. But honestly, guys, I feel like I'm promoting the coconut water. So yeah, I feel so refreshed. I just love it. And I was supposed to take some home to make smoothies and stuff like that. Don't know if that's gonna happen because I kind of sort of think I just drank it all now. But so hydrating, so refreshing. And I know for a lot of people, because we're in September and in a couple weeks we're gonna be changing. It'll be moving into fall time, so it'll feel a little bit cooler. Obviously not for us, so I'm always battling hydration. A lot of times I feel very dehydrated, so, oh, nipples, yay, coconut water. I just saw that you joined. Yeah, coconut water. So yeah, I feel like I battle dehydration a lot. Your body needs exactly, it does, especially because we're sweating so much here. So I found a couple of things that I feel are incredibly hydrating for me. One is the coconut water. The other thing is watermelon or watermelon water. If you juice watermelon, I find it to be super hydrating, just in a way that water sometimes, just because it doesn't have, water is hydrating obviously, but it doesn't have all the electrolytes and all of the minerals and things like that. Sometimes you need that. So watermelon is really good for that. Coconut water, at least for my body, coconut water is really good for that. Cucumbers are also great. Cucumbers in your water, really super hydrating and delicious. What else have I found to be good? It'll pop up in my brain later. I wasn't really thinking about talking about all the things that hydrate me, but I love those in terms of just fresh, Grapes are good. I think grapes are pretty hydrating. I love it's kind of sweet sometimes, but like the longans, the lychees, those tend to be juicy. Like juicy fruits to me are really good, but not like the sticky ones like mango and stuff like that. Because I feel like after I eat a mango, I feel like I want to drink more water. So not the ones that are like super duper sweet, but the ones that are kind of like not as sweet, but definitely have a lot more liquid. Those are the ones to me that really just are massively hydrating. So I love those. So yeah, so we're just like here enjoying. Let me see if I can like do I trust my tripod so you can see more what's going on here. Got a pretty banyan tree forest, looks like, kind of going on there. I love being beside the banyan trees, so you get more. My camera skills are on point right now. I'm feeling kind of proud of myself. All right. So what's been going on with everybody this week? I feel like this has been a really interesting week. Well, for me, I've been just super duper busy. Water. Yes, definitely water. A lot of people and clients and friends have just talked about how exhausted they are by how busy they've been. We've just been kind of grinding away. That could be because Mars is in that anaretic degree in Virgo, about to switch and go over to the sign of Libra. So sometimes and especially Mars in Virgo, because Virgo is a very like, let's get work done, let's make things, let's make it happen, let's activate on that in a very specific targeted way, and you're kind of sort of like focused. And so I felt a lot of that this week. I felt like a lot of focused energy, and just and also just, wow, there's so much to get done, and can I get it all done before my deadlines, and like other things were popping up. And so it's been interesting how I've been feeling like the shift in energy, the shift in what's going on, and also just in a sense because a lot of us, especially a lot of us that are business owners, and also just people too, as we move into the holidays, and everybody celebrates different types of holidays, but as we move into the holidays, there's that kind of shift in thinking about like, where am I going to spend the holidays? I actually asked my son like what he wanted for Thanksgiving, and he was like, Mom, I'm just like not even there yet. I can't think about, he was like, food, but like I can't think about what I want. So there is that shift, like, okay, school started for a lot of folks. Your kids are in school, or you're in school, or at least if you're not in any of those things, the kids are like in school, and so like the places where that used to be like filled with families and stuff like that are a little bit more like open and free, and people are kind of more focused in keeping their eye on their schedule and what they're doing, because you don't have to have kids or be in school yourself, but you do feel the shift. You feel the shift that people are like, okay, it's about business, let's get things going, let's do what we have to do, let's on to the next step, forward, and onward. And so like there's this busy kind of buzzy feeling. Kid came home sick Friday, laying low and pounding healing things. Yeah. Oh, that's sad. I know. There's a lot. I mean, well, we know obviously what's going around in the world right now, and then also just two kids have been away, right, from each other for in distancing and everything with last year. So just even when we're not dealing with a global pandemic, kids are just circulators of viruses and things like that anyway. So when you have your kid in school, definitely they can not feel well and be sick. So Nibbles, I hope she feels better. I'm sorry to hear that. And yeah, definitely pounding the healing thing. So maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we'll talk about some healing things. What are you doing, Nibbles? Are you doing your fire cider? That is why I wanted to go into Chinatown, because I needed to get some horseradish. So fire cider, Nibbles, actually, who's here on live, kind of lent me her recipe, and I kind of put some things together and added like locally what I like to add. But fire cider is a really, really good thing for a boost. I mean, a lot of us have been boosting ourselves anyway and kind of like keeping it up, and just because of what's going on, whether you get the jab or not, everybody needs to be boosting at this time, because we don't want to get sick with anything else. And as for a lot of people, as you're going into wintertime and you are getting less sun, your immune system takes a hit. Yeah, so fire cider, elderberry, fermented garlic, vitamin D, and vitamin C, absolutely, and zinc too. I would say zinc is a good one too. I mean, she's little, so obviously you choose for your daughter what's best. But I've been boosting with zinc. I've been boosting with all of those things. I need to make more fire cider, so I made this interesting kind of like spiced honey thing, which is really good. And I have turmeric tincture, I have lemongrass tincture, I have ginger tincture, of course, and I have galangal, which is from the ginger turmeric family, and you find that a lot in Southeast Asian cooking, and it kind of is what gives the flavor to Thai food to me. It tastes like a cross between it tastes like a spicier, earthier type of ginger. So if you like turmeric and if you like ginger, then the galangal is going to be good for you too. And just making like soups and broths, I make like a really good adaptogenic mushroom soup, and I put like powdered mushrooms in there and all kinds of mushrooms that I find. Lion's mane, maitake, shiitake, just any kind of mushroom is good for that. And put some powdered in there, and like lots of garlic, always lots of garlic. And just onion and like all kinds of different like yummy vegetables. Yeah. And I make this really yummy soup. I always, of course, put turmeric in there. Let's see, what else do I put in there? Fresh ginger, all of those things. And so it's kind of like a base. It's kind of like a base for ramen. And you can do it with or without the noodles. But I love that soup. And then at the end, that's when I kind of put the powder, the adaptogenic powder, and it has like I think like 5 or 6 different types of mushroom blends, and then it has like some tulsi, and it has ashwagandha and a few other things. Maybe I'll take a picture of it and I'll throw it up on my stories so that you can see it. And you can buy it actually, like if at your local like health food store, or even at like Whole Foods or something like that. You're not going to really find it at like Safeway or some of those stores, or like Target or Walmart. Won't find it there, but or you can go online, or like Mountain Rose Herbs and all that kind of fun stuff. So that is important, and I like it also too because it's very hydrating, and like liquids are good for that. Oops, my camera was moving towards me. Okay. It's windy, as you can see. My hair's like blowing all over the place. So yeah, so we want to definitely boost ourselves up, this time. I actually found out today, speaking of all of that, that one of my favorite vendors at the farmer's market, who is like my girl and I go to all the time, and she's like putting Lilycoin on the side for me, and she's like, oh, I knew you were coming, so I saved some stuff. She's actually very sick with COVID right now, so that's really, really sad, and just hoping that she is pulling through and she's going to be okay. Haven't seen her at the market in 3 weeks, and I just found out by another vendor today that she was sick. So I'm really, really bummed out about that, honestly. And I know we all have had people that we know that have gotten sick, and some people who have long COVID and other kinds of complications, and those who have passed away. So just keeping in our hearts and thoughts people who are not feeling well right now, and wishing them the best and speedy recovery and lots of healing at this time, especially as we're, going into this shift from summertime. For some of us are going from the shift from summer to winter. We don't really exactly have that shift, but we do kind of have like a dry shift. We go from like dry to wet and cool. And so that's happening. And even with that little bit of shift, I still boost. I still, it gets into tea time. I actually roasted some butternut squash. I guess this whole live is going to be about food. I roasted butternut squash to make a curried butternut squash soup. That's yummy. That has turmeric, that has ginger, that has garlic. I put roasted butternut squash. I cut up a few apples, onions, celery, a little bit of vegetable stock, whether you use the like little cubes or if you use it liquid, and then you just bring it to a boil essentially. And then once everything is soft, you blend it, and then you can finish it with a little bit of cream if you want to, but you don't really have to, because the butternut squash makes it like really smooth, and so does the apple. But I love that. Oh, and then of course like some curry powder I throw in there, but I also use like a lot of like curry type herbs anyway. But yes, it's delicious. Coriander, let's see, cumin, and then some fenugreek. Throw a little mustard seeds in there if you want, like when you're sauteing your onions is really good. Just all your curry type flavors. But it's really good. And you can do it without the curry, but I love curry. It's so good. Yummy. Yeah, so let's see. What am I looking forward to this fall? So I'm going to give you guys some beach time while I talk about things I'm looking forward to. Well, one thing that I'm really looking forward to. Okay, so I do have a story. I always have a story. So when I was in high school, I had this, I'll pull back because I think when I pull back, you can see the ocean better. So when I was in high school, I'll just tell the story while you're looking at the ocean. When I was in high school, I had this amazing high school teacher. And she was a lot older, interestingly enough. Like most of the teachers were fairly young, maybe 30s, 40s. She was in her 60s. So she was like one of the oldest teachers that we had. And she had a little goal for herself every year. And her name is Mrs. McKinley, I want to say. And she read 100 books a year. 100, I have to get in the camera for this, 100 books a year. And I still to this day think of most of the people that I've met in my life, she was one of the most intelligent, well-informed, interesting persons I had ever met before. And that was her goal. And she would read lots of different things, not just fiction, not just nonfiction, just any and everything that she could get her hands on. And that was her goal. And I just thought that that was the most amazing thing. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to set that goal for myself. But then I was a student, and then I was like a cheerleader, and then I played soccer, and then, I was into theater. So like the 100 books thing was really difficult because I've always been kind of like really busy with projects. So I said, okay, well, I'll do 50 books. And so for a long time, for several years, I did 50 books. I did 50 books even when I was in college. And then around the time when I had my son, that kind of dwindled down to 25. And then when I started, like homeschooling him and doing all of that and just, having a small business, then that dwindled down even more. And now I feel like everything I read and everything that I do has to do with business. So I'm still reading and I'm still engaging my mind because I have to do that and I love doing that. But I just feel like I have purchased so many books and I haven't been reading them, not because I don't want to, just because I've been so busy and there's other things that need my attention. So I think, as we're wrapping up, because this is like what this conversation is about a little bit, like wrapping up the fall. I had a business meeting this week and we were talking about, okay, this is Q4, like, what are we doing for our businesses for like the next couple months, as we move into 2022. And I was thinking to myself, like, I was already thinking about 2022 and some of my goals and what I wanted to do. But I was like, yeah, we still have like several months left here in 2021. And really 2021 for me and a lot of people hasn't ended up at all exactly like we thought it was going to be. Sometimes no fault of our own. We're just going through a lot of things in the world. And to acknowledge that and to understand that means that we're saying, okay, well, I set some goals, but then I had to pivot. I had to pivot a lot, So I think like for the remainder of this year, as I'm planning and I'm organizing for next year and what I want to do, and part of my big push towards self-care, because that's something that, you guys know I'm challenged. I'm self-care challenged. I preach it and I promote it tremendously, and I try to engage in it whenever I can, but I will always find 10,000 excuses why something else is more important than my self-care, and that's just me being honest. So one of the things that I would like to do to engage in my self-care, and again, remember, self-care looks like something different for everyone. This is, I think, also really important. Self-care, everyone thinks of as cucumbers on your eyes or like going to the beach. And it can be, and it is that. And all of us do need to do those kinds of relaxing, manicures, scalp massage, body massage, whatever. All of those things are good, yummy meals, all of that. But at the same time, for certain people, myself, I like to, have some active self-care, so it could be something like, if I'm engaging and I'm reading all of these other things that have to do with my business, then self-care for me would look like, well, I love to read and I love to learn things because that actually makes me happy and comfortable. So let me learn and read things that have nothing to do with that, or some kind, or fluff things even, some really fun like fiction, or read just something that doesn't have to do specifically with my business or how to work this app for my business or whatever the case may be. So I have a lot of books that I want to engage with very soon. So that's one of the things that I want to do. So just remember that, with your self-care. And if you want, you can share share below in the comments what you do for self-care. Like, what does self-care look like for you? Self-care really does look differently for everyone because it depends on what it is that is kind of pressing, in our lives in terms of what are the things that are the most stressful. Sometimes the opposite of that would be, oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a good goal too. Some of the things that are really stressful, the opposite of that or the inverse of that can be where you want and need the self-care. And like I said, for some people it is very kind of like just taking a break and taking time off. It also could be that like engaging and being active is self-care for some people. Like if you feel like, if you're a person that's like, I really want to like engage in this physical activity, I really want to like stretch my body, I want to feel good in my body, I want to lose or gain weight or whatever it is that you want to do, there's a certain level of activity that takes in order to do that in whichever way you want to do it. So that's the thing. So my thing is the reading. I'm telling you guys this because like accountability here, right? And I'll be posting in my stories like, I read this book or this is what I learned from the book. And I really want to get on my roller skates. Oh my gosh, I bought roller skates last year. It was my Christmas gift to myself. And you know how many times I've been on my roller skates? One time. Exactly. So I really want to be on my roller skates. And again, like I said, there's times where I planned on, there was like a lot of fun stuff that was happening in the park, but then like our numbers spike up and then we close down. And, there's been a lot of things, like I know with a lot of us, that just kind of get in the way of us activating and doing things. And when you're the type of person that like is used to just saying you're going to do something and do it, and then suddenly you have this saying you can't, and this saying you can't, and the state saying, and then this got canceled, it's kind of hard to do that. But whether I do it like outside with other roller skaters or whether I just take my skates and I just run in the park myself or whatever, and I have a couple really cool spaces to do it too. Like there's one space that's by the beach that's just gorgeous. I mean, like literally by the beach, like roller skating by the beach, amazing. That I kind of found. So yeah, I want to do that. So those are my two things. Like those are my two fall fun, non-work type things. I don't want to share my work things here because it's the wild Wahine. We're talking about being wild and free and fun. And I have, business folks to share those goals with. But those are two things that I would really like to incorporate and I want to, promote everybody. So let me know, Nibbles, if you're still here, what are your two things? If you have two things that you want to do that are fun for you, that are self-care for you, what would those two things be? And like everyone else that's either here or sees this later, put it in the comments because I do read all my comments and I do comment on the comments. So let me give you more beach. Here's more beach. Well, I'm going to take an off-camera sip of my coconut water. I need to be in a coconut water commercial. Seriously. Movement and connection. That's a good one. Movement and connection. And when you talk about movement, were you thinking about like getting back in the hula hoop? Hula hoopers, all of us hula hoopers. That was so much fun. We used to have hoop jams at the beach. Oh my gosh, years ago. So much fun with all the kids. I had like music. We'd have like live drumming and like fire dancers and stuff. It was amazing. So much fun. I mean, I think for me, hooping was like the one thing where I got like the best exercise, and it didn't feel like exercise because we were just there with our friends, with our kids, outside at the beach. Like it was warm, it was beautiful, so much fun. So much fun. The hooping community was awesome. I just remember that with such fond memories. Yeah, in so many ways I have more hoops, yoga, swing dancing, yeah, swing, yoga swing. Okay, I was like swing dancing, yes, swing dancing too, dancing and everything. Yes, and more yes. Super duper duper fun. Hooping, yoga swing, using the tools I have, absolutely. I think that's so important. I have a really good friend of mine who's probably going to be watching this later. She was here and we used to do, and I think I mentioned this before, we used to do beach walks together. And actually along this beach, we would, get up early. She's an early bird. I so wasn't. It was just like, oh my gosh, why? But I would get up early, and I loved it once I was up and there, but I, was just like, oh, morning times. But I would get up and we would, take this walk, and then we'd go jump in the beach. And that was just another thing that was really fun. So I think I'm going to incorporate that too. So that is reading my books. And I don't know, like, we're already like 3 months in this year. So maybe I'll make that like 25 or 50 book goal for next year. But I think I have 3 months. So maybe I could do like, I don't know, maybe 5 books, we'll see. I do have a lot of work that I have to do. Oh, you want to swing dance too? Oh, that's so fun. Yeah, absolutely. That just looks like it would be so much fun. So amazing. Partner dance looks like a lot of fun. I love that. I'm going to give you guys some more beach here. Yeah, so beautiful here. And can you see that little sail? Can you see the sailboat? Maybe it's coming into frame now. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, it might be, further out. Audiobooks, they're so fantastic. Yes, I know. And so audiobooks. I do my fair share of listening to, and I do like listening to podcasts and things like that. I just feel like the retention, tripod flying away. The retention that I have from audiobooks is not as good as the retention that I have from when I read. And the images that I have in my, because usually I have to be honest. Okay, so my thing with audiobooks, and this might not be the same thing for everybody, but this is just me and how my mind works. You guys know my Mars is in Virgo. So audiobooks is usually something that I listen to, or podcasts or things like that. It's something that I listen to when I'm doing something else. So usually I'm engaged with something. So I'm either working, or I'm doing the dishes, or I'm cooking, or I'm, driving somewhere. And so I'm like, okay, let me throw this on and let me listen and hear and learn. But I feel like I'm only listening with like a part of my brain, like not the whole brain. The whole brain is not listening. So something about when you read a book, you can't do anything else. You can't hopefully drive and read a book. No one drive and read a book. Okay. Don't do that. And you can't cook and read a book. You can't do anything. You're just fully focused on that thing, and you're fully engaged, and you're taking the time out of your day to do that. And I think that's why, what's that? Okay, I thought it was a bee. And that's why I think, I really like reading, because it allows me to not multitask, because I'm a massive multitasker. I will have sometimes I have been known to be listening to 2 different audios at the same time. Like, that's how bad it is, and that's how much I multitask. So one of my self-care things to do is actually to focus on one thing, not multiple things, because multiples is what I do. So it is kind of like taking a time out and isolating myself from all of those things and saying, I'm going to fully engage with this book. And also just the sensual aspect of it. Like, it's a book, you feel the pages. Books smell like something. You can hear the pages turn. There's just this whole sensory thing with it. So yeah. So for me, that's all I can say. I can't speak for everybody else. Yes, I see. Like, I love my books, but audio is part of my self-care. It's funny how we all care for ourselves in so many different ways. That's so true. It's so true, because we're all so very different. And we all kind of burn one end of the candle in a different way than the other person does. And this is also why astrology is so amazing in terms of helping you identify where you're activating, where you're not, where you should, you could be activating more to achieve what you want and the balance that you want, and also where you're over activating and where you might need some self-care. And for that matter, we're all very different in that. We're all very, very different in that. Some folks really need, I know for people who think a lot and are very mercurial minded, words coming at them, like in terms of audio and all of that, can be actually quite soothing and help them quiet down their internal dialogue that's happening, or their internal monologue that's happening. So sometimes they need stuff coming at them so that they can quiet the brain. So I know, like, a lot of people, a lot of Virgos, or people who have Virgo, like a lot of planets in Virgo, or aspects to planets that are in Virgo, a lot of times love audiobooks, and they love watching television at night to put them to sleep, or they listen to audiobooks at night to put them to sleep. It's like something that I've seen so much. And a lot of it is just like wanting to hear the story, wanting to hear the outside story so that you can somehow quiet the inside story, you know. Whereas other folks are just like, I don't want to hear anything. I just want to hear myself, or I want complete and utter silence. Like, you know, people who like to sleep in the dark. Like, I actually like to sleep with quite a bit of light. I used to have I was a nightlight child, and I have salt lamps. I'm still like a nightlight girl. Like, I need some light. I mean, you know, guys, it's just all this Leo stellium. It like light. I like light. So, I can, you know, handle like quite a bit of light when I'm sleeping, whereas I know some folks are like the door closed and every, you know, blackout curtains, and it has to be totally dark in order for them to like go to sleep and all of that. So we're all very different, you know, in terms of what we need. Some people like it, you know, cooler at night. Some people like it warmer at night. Some people love the AC. Some people hate the AC and then a fan because they need a certain balance of humidity. That would be me. So yes, we're all very different. And I think once we kind of sort of know that, then we know what it is that we need to do. And then no one can tell you anything, right? Then no one can tell you, oh, this is what you should do and this is how you should do it, because you yourself know what you need. So hi, Captured Imagery. I'm so glad you joined. Yeah, we're just talking about a lot of different things. We've been on here for a little bit. We started off chatting a little bit about like herbs and how to kind of boost our immune system for this upcoming fall or change of weather. And I'm just doing a little bit of a beach live. We're having people like look at the beach and look at what's going on here, and just chatting about like some self-care things for myself. Water is also important. So I found that, so your sixth house, and this is in astrology now, your sixth house is a house of like health, and also the house of work, also the house of service. There's a, you know, it means multiple things. We always have like a lot of different archetypes that are associated with planets, signs, and also houses. So the sixth house, one of the things those sixth house can do, you know, in association with your health, is show you like how you like your self-care. It's an indicator for that. So for example, in the sixth house for myself, I have my sixth house in Pisces, you know, so it's in water and this kind of imaginative type of space. So I love things that have to do with like water related things are very relaxing to me. So soups and teas, like I make tea all the time. I make tea when it's literally like 98 degrees. I will still have hot tea. I also like iced tea too, but I just am a tea person. I do soups all summer. Obviously I do like heartier soups when it's cooler and when it's rainy. I love the rain. I love it when it rains. I love the ocean. I love being by the ocean. I've never lived far from a body of water ever in my life. I don't think I can. I can never be landlocked like that. Preferably the ocean. I prefer salt water, but you know, I'll take it all. I love waterfalls and rivers and stuff like that. So it's very relaxing to me. Baths are incredibly relaxing to me. My creativity is stimulated by water. So if I come to like a creative block sometimes and I'm not sure what to do, or I'm trying to figure out things and I'm just trying to generate my ideas, sometimes taking a bath, getting in the ocean, any of those things kind of just like relax me and calm me down, and then like whatever I was blocked, that just totally comes through. So that's a thing for me. It's just something that like I deeply love, and like walking by the ocean, being by the water, being you know, walking in the rain. I've oftentimes, especially when we get like, you know, wet season here, it'll just pour, the sky will open up and it's like pouring down torrential rain, and I'll go outside and walk in the rain. Love it. I love to walk okay, don't necessarily follow me with this, but I do like to go to I don't get in the water, but I like going to the beach when it's raining, and especially like during the day, and just getting rained on while at the beach. It's just like all the ions, all the negative ions you could possibly get from like a storm. It's amazing. I mean, be careful of lightning. There was one storm last year that the lightning was gnarly, and I was like, this is probably not the safest thing that I could do in my life. But I was by a lot of tall buildings, so I figured it would like hit the building and not me. Like, I think if I was like just like North Shore or somewhere else where it was like flat and I was the only vertical thing, then I might not have done that. But I I felt like the lightning's gonna touch like buildings before it gets me. So again, don't necessarily do what I do, but it was fun, and I do like walking around, when it's raining and things like that. That just so anyway, that's just an example, like of using your sixth house to see like what are the things that are fun for you, what are some of the things that you can use that are like healthy for you, what are some of the images or some of the energy, depending upon what planets you have in your sixth house, also depending upon what element is in your sixth house, because that means different things for different people. So for me, it's a flow type of situation. It's an imaginative type, which is the reading comes into that, the flowing of the roller skates, the flowing of the hula hooping. When I just started to kind of break down all of the things that I like to do in terms of self-care, I was like, oh my gosh, that fits so much my sixth house. So if you have questions about that, you for sure can book a reading with me, and we can kind of take a look at that and like maybe come up with some self-care routines, because I love talking to people about that, and I do think it's something that we all need in our life, because we're just running, and especially with everything that we've been through, that we've survived, over the last year for 2020 and really 2021, and also what's to come. As I mentioned to you guys, that these couple of years that we have left of before we go into 2024, will be a certain amount, will be challenging, so we have to shore ourselves up by the things that feel good in our lives and by our self-care. And here is some more beach for you guys. I will give you a little bit more beach, and then I'm going to get out of here because I got food in the car. I got food in the car. I have a banana blossom, or what they call heart of the banana, and I am stoked beyond belief, in terms of, here, make sure you're level here with my tripod. I'm stoked beyond belief with what I'm going to do with this banana blossom. Apparently it's supposed to be a really good vegan meat substitute. So I've been wanting to work with banana blossoms and also work with sunflowers, like sunflower heads, and roast them. I don't have any sunflowers. I have to go to the farm. There's a sunflower farm here on island. Actually, there's two, but there's my favorite one that's in NATAL. And so I love going there and taking sunflower pictures. You probably will see some come Thanksgiving, because that's usually when they have their sunflowers. So you definitely will be seeing lots of video and photos when the flowers go up. But I'm excited. So I will definitely do some sort of reel with what I do with this banana flower or banana heart, and we'll see how it is. I mean, I figure like if you roasting things in oil with salt and pepper, you pretty much never can go wrong. And if you add garlic, it's even better. Like, what can't be roasted with oil, salt and pepper, and some garlic? That's it, right? That's like the holy trinity there for food. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm so happy that you guys are here with me for this kind of like off the cuff talking about like whatever. We'll be doing this, like I said, it was raining yesterday, so when it rains, I won't be able to do it. But when it clears up, we'll just jump in and do it. But thank you so much for joining. Let me know what your self-care is. Like, what are you thinking about for these next 3 months? What could be something fun for you that really feels like self-care that you can engage in for these next 3 months? How do you boost yourself for the upcoming fall, when you'll have when it's cooler and it'll be a little bit more rainy, or for those of you on the mainland, when you're actually going to experience like a true winter? And I guess for everybody down under, you guys are about to go into summer, so I guess you guys are just going to be making like mango smoothies and having fun. So let me know those two things. I'm really interested, and put them in the comments below, and I will see you for the next beach live on Friday. And remember, the astro chats are always on Monday, and that just gives you an astrological breakdown of the week to come. I'm going to have more videos coming out that I'm really excited about, so we're just like stepping it up a notch and really bringing some fun stuff to everybody. And also remember, you can always find me on Clubhouse at 1 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Yes. And we talk about various different things like every other week. We always every other week do card pulls, tarot card or oracle card pulls for people based on the new moon and the full moon. And we just had a fantastic talk about shadow work. That was like mind-blowing. So if you weren't there, oh my gosh, you should be. So please come to Clubhouse, where like the most awesome conversations and discussions are happening at the Wild Wahine. So anyway, I will see you guys. Aloha. Let's get some more beach before we go. And look, we got some folks playing some music for us, so this is good. This is good stuff. Should we get there? Should we go closer? Let's go closer. Let's do that. I'm gonna see if I can take this out of... All right, bear with me. You know how I am with this. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm just gonna take you a little bit closer. I like to do that because I was a little further away. So let's go for all my folks who are on the mainland or anywhere in the world and you're just like, I just need to see some ocean. And I guess everyone here in Hawaii, if you're working or if you're just somehow not on the beach watching this and you wish you were on the beach, then you can kind of sort of see. Here we go. Oh, maybe next time I should shoot from these steps. Look at these steps, they're cool steps. Okay. Here you guys go. I can't get too far because my bag and all my stuff is up there, but here's some nice beach. That color, I know, it's insane. The color is amazing. It's so pretty. So pretty. Here, let's move. We can get a little further. I don't want to leave my bag. Never leave your bag unattended, but look at Diamond Head. But yeah, it's pretty. So pretty. Okay, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. So pretty. Next time we'll get closer to the beach. All right. Have a beautiful weekend. Bye.